I'm Mike Albert. I'm 20 years old. I'm from Canton, Massachusetts, and I've adopted four cats in my life, and I definitely think that it's definitely worth something looking into.
So, do you believe people should adopt from breeders or animal shelters?
Um, I don't see a problem with people adopting from either, to be honest with you. I think that both have their pros and cons. I think that if you're adopting from a shelter, you kind of get to go in and you know what you're getting. You know that you're helping a poor creature, find a home, and that's always really sweet. Um, and like it does feel like somewhat rewarding from personal experience and stuff. With that said, um, I definitely think that if you know the breeder and you're kind of heart set on a certain like type of breed that you like want to bring into your life, your family, do it. Like I don't see a problem with either. Personally, I went with the shelter. So yeah.
Tell me about the animals that you adopted from the shelter.
All right. Well, so I believe it was June of 2011. I adopted these two kittens that were siblings. Actually, they're brother and sister, and they came home with us after they got their shots and everything. And, they were definitely really skittish, really, I mean, this is a new place, it's a new environment. So they were like hiding under the couches and stuff. And, they pooped under the couch and would like run away or hide and whatever. And, that's they're young, they don't know better. And so, we was a little bit of getting used to, but basically over the next like couple of months, they really came into their own and they really accepted us as part of their family, just like we did, which is really nice and it was really fulfilling. Um, so like we've had them for coming up on 8 years now, which is ridiculous. It's crazy to think about. And we added two more members to the feline family, two sisters as well. We got them from the same shelter, and they actually have a funny story. They were both born in the wild, and were born under like a bush, and the mother didn't make it, but these two did. And the shelter saw them on the side of the road, picked them up, brought them in, and we got them. So it was pretty cool. I definitely felt like it was like really rewarding because like one person or like a person or an animal that you know may kind of be like down in the out, gets a second chance. It gets a sense of redemption. It's like like for these animals to be kind of be stuck out there at such a young age, like they're like we're talking days old before they got picked up and brought somewhere safe. Like that could be like a bird's lunch or something. You know what I mean? As grotesque as that may sound, it's just the truth. And so when you're doing something so good and you're saving them, and then you get to bring them in and give them a whole, like a better life, it's really good.
And going back to the animals that you've adopted, can you tell me more about the shelter that you got them from?
Sure. So the shelter is in Canton, Massachusetts, my hometown, and it's like probably I don't know, not even a half mile away from the downtown area, so it's very accessible. Um, they've got cats and dogs and other like I think they might have birds too for
Yeah.
people who want birds. Not
Hmm.
my type of not my cup of tea, but I'm a coffee person, so yeah. Um, pretty much they've got you know they've got things set up like little like areas outside of the whole the crate area because that they do hold them in the crates, but you're allowed to play with them before you finally decide on which one you'd like to adopt. So like you can go into this room where they'll bring the two of you in, or and you kind of get to hang out with them and see what they're like, their personality. And I think that that's a big part in adopting animals is like people are always like, oh, the personality of this one's really nice or something like that. Then you have people who are like, oh, like that dog is ugly. I don't want that dog. And that's like it's kind of messed up because like what are you really going for here? Like I feel like that if you're going for look and type and stuff like that, you might as well like I was trying to allude to, you might as well just go to a breeder because like you kind of have your heart set on what you want. If you're trying to help a poor thing out and you're trying to do good, and you're not very specific, go to a shelter. You know, so
Yeah.
that's my take.
Hmm. And so you mentioned personalities, and I've noticed that at a lot of shelters there are many, many personalities from these animals, including ones that I've adopted as well, whether it be breeder or from a shelter. Can you tell me a little bit about your cat's personality?
So my cat Angus, his personality, he's very social. He's very social. Ever since we've had him, he's been very social. He's funny, and he's moody, um, but like not in a bad way. Um, if he sees people hanging out in the living room, he'll come in and just lay down right in the middle of the living room and want to be part of the conversation. Or he'll like walk up to you and like, I don't know, rub up against your leg and say like hi or whatever.
Mhm.
And you know, he wasn't like that when we got him, but he grew into it. And I think that that's also like that's the personality part of it. Like you can never really tell, but like there are some signs. Like he was never really shy when we were at the the adoption clinic, and the that stuff. So yeah, he's a good boy, and I'm so happy we got him.